Hi everyone, here we are again, out and about on my bike. Beautiful, look at this. It's so precious, so precious. Okay, I'm just gonna do a little sightsee with you. Got all these mountains and you got these cool trees. They're kind of stumpy because, well, I guess it's because we're quite high up on the mountains here and the winters can get quite windy and snowy. So perhaps that's why they're not like big tall trees. Like they've lasted because they've managed to hang in there winter after winter. But I wanted to take you to this cool little area here where we can just see this view and enjoy it together. I hope you appreciate this and think of it as nice as I do. I just find it so magical. And I love the nature. I love all the colors nature gives us. How interesting, I've just brought that topic up because we're moving into autumn, which means that the colors are changing in the mountains here. The deciduous trees are starting to change color very quickly, and they just kind of like sprinkled amongst all the green. And the clouds have all started to roll in, which on a regular basis, which we don't actually have here often. Definitely not during summer. It's just endless blue forever. And now we've got these clouds rolling in, which is just super cool. I love clouds because it kind of creates that emotion in the sky, right? And one time I was going for a walk with my teacher, and we were just walking down the road and looking at the flowers and looking at the scenery. And he said to me, could you imagine the world without color? Like, how blessed are we to actually be able to see and to be able to see the different colors that the universe gives us, that God gives us. And it struck me, it was one of those conversations, you know, like it's just a simple comment, a simple sentence, but it struck me straight into my heart. And why that is because I've been such a lover of color all my life. I've hunted the sunsets, the sunrises, I photographed them, I've painted them. I'm an artist, so I've done a lot with colors. I've done a lot with shadow work as an artist to work out the depth of field, but also to, you know how you, back in the days when we used to take photos and you'd have the negative, the roll of a film, and if you looked at it, you know, what was normally a dark shadow would be put into white or light. So it was the negatives, right? So I used to play with the shadow work in my art just to explore, just to see contrast and to appreciate the light and the dark. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is that immense appreciation that I have, and I'm sharing with you, of just the world that we live in, to not take for granted the beauty of the things that we have around us. And I know for me, anytime I got a little sad in my life, when there was intense moments and I was hitting a dark place, a heavy place in myself, energetically, emotionally, thought-wise, whatever, it was always color that brought me out, believe it or not. It was, even a few years ago, you know, I've been a meditation teacher for over 20 years. Even a few years ago when I had a really heavy place, when one of my family members was very, very sick. And I know the dance of the mind, and I know the relationship of emotions to our state of being, right? You know, when people are depressed, there's an emotional state, or there's mannerisms and tools you can play with to help move that emotional state. Yeah, lots of like little things that you learn along the way that can actually help you transcend or move out of a low place. And this one time, so I knew the dance of the mind, and I knew that I was caught in it and thinking, and the energies were kind of sucking me down, and everything felt very dark and heavy this one time. And I remember just looking out the door, the sliding door, the big glass door, and into the garden. And I just realized the pain I was feeling inside myself, and it was being reflected in my face, that I had my mouth pulled down, Like I I could actually feel how the negative emotions, this dark place I was in, was actually feeling inside my body too. Like it felt heavy and blocked and down. Everything was down. I got this because it was my face. And I focused on one thing. I focused on a flower. And I saw it. Like I just allowed myself just to be with that flower. It was a flower in my mother's garden. And I just looked at it and noticed its yellowness. I'm wearing yellow today. I noticed its yellow. I then took in the smile that the flower was giving me and let it feel like a smile inside my heart, right? Like a smile within myself. And then from there, I realized I could actually think something of appreciation. Like I have meditation techniques and tools that are focused on praise, gratitude, and love. So in that moment, I realized I could start actually thinking these meditation techniques with my eyes open, focusing on this flower, which would help to change that energetic, emotional state I was in. I wasn't trying to fight it or change it, but there was a realization that I could, right? So just by appreciating this beautiful yellow flower that was in my mother's garden, I could actually feel the timeline very quickly of that emotion shifting. And it was so beautiful because it confirmed for me the love that I have for the world and for the colors in it and how they actually help us. Now, I'm a little bit of a magical creature. I've always believed that the flowers are gifts from God and from the universe to help us laugh and dance and smile in this world. And that probably if there are fairies and elementals, which I believe there are, that they would be swinging around on these flowers and laughing and dancing with us and inviting all the humans to come and play with them. I'm trying to show you these little stumpy trees, aren't they cool? And I've always felt that with flowers, that flowers have their own magic, that they have their own language, and it's the language of love. And that might sound all woo to you, but when I let myself be present with a garden or with the flowers or even in the wild here, and in the next month, this is going to change and there's going to be pink heather and wildflowers of a different season are going to be out here. And so it's like the nature celebrates with us through color, the seasons, the life, and it's almost like it's inviting us into its language, into the celebration of what they're going through, what the plants are going through. Like the cycle of the plants, of course, is to create the seeds and create more plants. So they put the flowers out, the flowers get pollinated, and then the seeds get drifted away. I mean, that's the logistics of it, right? Now let's put the magic into it, where there's so much more going on. Like there's a language of all the plants and the color. And if you believe, and I guess you could Google it. Like there's different vibrations for different colors, like different vibration color waves. And if you go into those waves, I read this years ago, that we can actually harmonize ourselves with those waves. You know, there's color therapy. There's a language of color that's in this world to actually help us. I got told years ago that, of course, there's different colors you wear. It makes you feel different. It affects you. So, I just laugh at where I go sometimes in these videos. It's like, the world's such a magical place and I love exploring it. And sometimes I start these videos wanting to talk about one thing, the next minute I'm just off talking about something else. So I hope it's okay with you. But enjoy the magic. Enjoy the color around you. Appreciate it. Notice it. See how it makes you feel. Explore being present with your world and with your emotions and just play. And what is so cool about that is that by you having the awareness to play with all these different things, what you're really doing in the bigger picture is playing with being present. And that is where the true magic is, and that is where your relationship with the divine exists. So even though it all could be all goofy and woo-woo out on these little tangents that I go on, the truth always comes back to you realizing the divine person or the divine being that you truly are. But let's have fun along the way. Why not? Okay, that's enough for now. Bye.